Hey guys, it's your boy Deepo. Welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone's doing well. And today we're back with some more in our Breakout Infinite content. In particular, I'll showcase my top 10 budget builds. And then this will be followed by a video of top 10 mid-tier builds and then top 10 top-tier builds. So right before season 1, you know what is the best sort of kits to run, both for making money or for chasing rank. Um, Currently I'm sitting about 150 million. I've played this game for about 200 hours now, 237 hours. So I have a very good indication of which weapons perform well, which perform better than others, should I say, and what's the best bang for buck. Before we get started into that though, first and foremost, I'll show you my Discord. So we're up to 1,044 members. So guys, this community has taken off. If you need someone to play with, as you can see here, we have people from all over the world. These guys here from South Africa, we have Europeans. This is probably like the quieter this time for us. We have a lot of North Americans. Majority is actually North Americans, Europeans. We have a lot of Oceanic people as well, like Asians. So bottom line is, if you need someone to play with, come and join us. We're also going to be doing a 1K event. So there will be a King of the Scavs event. The winner will get 1 month free case, which is this one, the composite case. I'll be giving one of those, and then at 10K subs, we'll be handing out. We'll be doing our first live stream, and then we'll probably hand out 100 USD gift card once we hit 10K on YouTube. So I think we're about 900 subs away. So you guys have absolutely been amazing. And if you do enjoy the content, if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please hit it, as it does mean a lot to me. On a side note, we're also in the process of creating guides, so helmets, so on and so on. So stay tuned for that. If you join our Discord, you'll have access to it. Now, without further ado, let's get stuck into it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so the criteria for this is going to be 80K. Any gun that's up to 80K will be considered budget. Anything from 80 to 150 will be considered mid-tier. And anything from 150 and above will be considered a top-tier build. Now, because this video is purely based on low-tier, should I say, budget builds, we're only going to be covering budget builds. But guys, also the criteria is it cannot be a one-dimensional weapon. So I'm talking about my budget builds, and my playstyle is get out there, hit 2 hotspots per go, take paid extracts. So you want to be in and out, you want to be fast, and you'll be pretty much encountering a lot of enemies mid to close range. You'll very rarely get engaged in a long range combat unless you overstay your welcome. Therefore, unfortunately, the Mosin is not going to make this top list because I don't run the Mosin. I think it's one-dimensional and encourages rat playstyle. I did not make 115 million being a rat, and neither should you. You should enjoy this game. You shouldn't just hide in the bush for 40 minutes, okay? So, the first build is one that I swear by, and it's what pretty much put my channel on the map. And it's none other than the M15, the M16, sorry, M15. This is really cheap to kit out. The gun itself costs nothing, say 19K. You should add about 15 to 20% inflation on top of this to get the real cost. You don't really have to do too much. All I essentially do is I put a PK sight on it and a silencer if you want to run silent, or if you want to run loud, you get that better recoil. And for stock, I usually run the it is really cheap, this stock, because it's a grip and a stock, and it's better than what you get initially. So this is the whole build, and this build absolutely slaps, right? You'll be able to take on anyone with this build. Now you have two options here. If you're feeling cheap, you can run with the M855s. They are probably the best all-around option, I would say, but it's entirely up to you. I like to run with this red dot here, the single one. But the catch is you cannot burst fire this. Burst fire on this weapon is not good. You want a single fire, and it pretty much has no recoil. Like, it's like a recoil rifle. Good at range, good at short range. Like, it covers all your bases, and anyone can quick fire these. Macros, you don't need anything like that. A very controllable recoil, as you can see. Very, very good spread there. Now, if you want to go and become a top tier rat with this weapon, which I wouldn't encourage the rat playstyle, you should go for the M855 Air ones. That way, close range, mid or long range, you're covered. You get better armor pen, but they do cost a little bit more. So currently, if I look at the market, currently, M855s should go for between 450 to 600. So they're not exactly the cheapest rounds, but they are very, very solid rounds. So if we go market here and we go to 855, you're looking at about 483 at the moment. This is very high for M855A1s. You can usually get them down to like 1.1, maybe less than 1.1, but that's usually when it goes. But you do get the extra penetration. So 40 pen, 49 base damage with 51 base damage and 34 penetration there. So once again, entirely up to you, but this has you covered both for like normals and lockdowns. This weapon will come through for you and it's dirt cheap to make. Now, if you're someone that wants to go the extra mile, what I suggest you do is, if you want to get a scope,
I heard you're pretty
talk
tough.
to...
Need any equipment?
Which gentleman gives the
I hope you'll
remember.
So you can get the ACOG for this guy for like what, 30k, 40k, so it's gone up a little bit.
Wanna buy?
So you can run the ACOG on it natively. You don't need a rail because that's just how the M16 comes. I'll show you. You're just able to put the ACOG on top, and it will give you that range. But do be wary of one thing though, because the charging handle is so high up, it will take a little bit of your screen real estate. So if we go here, gun modding, and we go for the carbine, which is this one. You want to go for loud, and then you want to go put the ACOG. See, it goes there organically. You don't really have to worry about it much. And next up, what we're going to do here is going to put that stock on it. That's pretty much your whole build. 70k. Adjust for inflation, it'll be a little bit more, but you can get the ACOG down very, very cheap. And it's just a good scope. You can put a red dot on top of it as well. But as far as budget builds go, this thing is a sniper, man. Like, the way you can just pop heads. I'll be hitting the helmet because that's a T6 helmet. But anything even up close, it just absolutely collapses. So this is my M16 build. I've made a lot of money with it. I've been reported many times for it. It just collapsed. Like, as far as carbine goes, I think this is the best carbine. It absolutely collapsed, chicks. And up close, you don't even have to aim down. Just hip fire it, guys. I don't even use macros. Like, this weapon is cracked, man. Like, what is that spread? What is that spread? That's disgusting. All right, so that is the M16, and now we move on to our next weapon. All right. Next one surprised even me, and I never thought it's a weapon I'll put on this list because I thought it's a weapon that does not fit anywhere in the meta. I always used to dump on it until I gave it a proper go and I really tried it out. It's pretty much like a budget version of the RPK. You get the best, sorry, should I say the cheapest T3 ammo and the cheapest T4 ammo. And it's none other than the AK-74N. It costs peanuts to kit out. It is super, super like good in terms of how versatile it is and how good the recoil is. So we'll be going for a very simple build here. Always loud, of course. Over here, you want to go for a incline and you want to go for a PK sight. And this should automatically, with that, bring your build up to, what are we at the moment? 59,000, right? Next up, we are going to go and add a scope, and it's going to be the cheapest scoped build in the game. So now we are up to, what is that? 69,000, guys, 69k. And we have a scoped weapon with decent recoil that can shoot decent bullets and do decent damage. Next up here, you can go for which and every grip you want. So this one here will set you back about 10k, but it gives you 5 and 9. That's about 3 and 6, but it's half the price. So it's entirely up to you which one you want to go for. You could go with something like that and go for something like that. But then this will bring it up a little bit to like 87k. I know I said 80k was the cutoff, but if you want a killer build they'll perform in any given situation, this is it. This is a very, very good budget weapon. If you don't want to go down that road and you want to remain within that 80k budget, then what I suggest you do is you take the iron sight there and you go for the extra recoil. If you go down this road here with a PK sight, you are looking at, what is that? 67,000. 67,000. This is a beast. It'll perform on any level. It's that good. So what I'm gonna do here is, if I test it out with a vertical grip, would that put us straight within the... Yep, so we still have 6 more K to spend. And you can also go for one of these, gives you the extra ergonomics. And I recommend you run a 60 mag. And this right here is a weapon for the ages, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go and test it out. All in all, it costs us what, 77,000, and you'll be able to drop anyone. I've dropped a tier 6 guy with this gun before. So I'm gonna jump into the firing range and showcase it. Once again, I mean, if we look at the ammo quickly, so 545, you're looking at PP ammo 52 a pop and 720 for the tier 4. Like, there's no reason why you should not run tier 4 ammo on this. It's cheap, and if you're doing the money runs like I've showcased in other videos, you're in and out pretty much. You're covered short range, you're covered long range. If you're running the scope and the red dot, then you can do long range with it too. You can do sniping. So it is that freaking awesome, this weapon. It really surprised me. As a platform, I always used to dump on it because I thought fire rate wasn't good enough, recoil was a bit funky, but nah, this weapon, honestly, it just exceeded my expectations. So I'll show you the scope build. So we got gun modding here. We're gonna go for the AK-74N, and what we want to do here is we want to go for that one. Over here we'll go for the incline. Here we'll go loud. You can also go silent if you wanted to. I personally don't, but it's entirely up to you. We go for the PSO there, and we'll go for the stock here. That's it. That's our full build. Return. What do we have? BPs in here? PP ammo. Okay. You want to go fully automatic. You can go semi-automatic as well. So it's up close and for range. You just run the scope. It's the cheapest scope build in the game. Really, really solid. Highly, highly recommend. It will make and it will save you a lot of money on the ammo as well. Alright, that's it for that one. And let's move on to our next build. Alright, next one is a personal favorite of mine, and it's none other than the MP5. It has unrivaled versatility for the price point that it's at. Obviously the MPX is better, but the MPX is twice as expensive, quite literally. So what do you want to run on this? You have to go for this stock collapsible. It is the best in slot for the price range. Next up, we want to change either to this one, or you can go for the slightly worse off one, that one, but then it impacts your recoil. Over here, I would run with the middle suppressor here because it is the cheapest of the bunch. So you're pretty much silenced. You have a very good recoil control. And over here, you can pretty much just go for that and a PK sight. And this should bring the whole build up to 93,000. So since we are sticking within the 80k budget, then you can run loud and you should be right in between that budget. So when I do my money runs, I do run loud for the better recoil control. But if you're doing lockdown or something, then you may want to opt for the suppressor. It's still a budget build, but it's entirely up to what you prefer. Also, AP63, there's no need to go to tier 4. I've melted tier 6 guys with AP63s. AP63s is freaking busted. Like, you know, this build will cost you 72,000 and you're competitive. Now, you won't be able to snipe with it, but you are very, very, very competitive. You move very fast, very good recoil. So I'm gonna jump in the range and test it out. It is quite astonishing how good the MP5 is. I cannot believe it. And usually it's like a meme gun in games. It's for those like light builds, but in this game, this thing punches. I hope it never gets nerfed, because I feel like it fits the meta perfectly. It's in a very good spot. I wouldn't say it's overpowered, but it's just a very, very nice versatile option. So we're gonna go loud there. Then we want to go here, and then we want to go there. With that, so that's our initial build. There is another way to approach this if you want to go silent, but you will lose out on a lot of recoil. It is a lot cheaper though. So that way, what you do is you take this off, take that off, take that off, and you want to run with the MP5 SD. This is less than 80k, this build, but it is it comes silenced organically, so that's that one there. So we're gonna complete that one. So just to compare the two, So you have this one, and we also have this one here. And the price difference, so that one there is about 65,000, that one there is about 65. So they're both on par. It will cost you pretty much the same. So it's just up to you whether you want to run loud or whether you want to run silent. So check this out. It's a freaking laser beam, man. This one here will have more kick because this has about 86 recoil control. This only has 77. So this will have a bit more kick. So as you can see, but it is silence. So once again, for money runs, both are highly effective. Though for PvP, I'll probably go for this one here due to the better recoil. This one here has similar ergonomics, but the recoil is lower. So if we compare them both side to side here, you have about 77 vertical with 60 horizontal, 86 74. That's huge for the price point. That is freaking huge. 67 ergonomics, 66. This one's more accurate for some reason. Same effective range, same hip fast stability, same muzzle velocity. This one is actually lighter. The suppressed one is a bit, obviously just a little bit more heavier. Noise suppression low. This one has 20% max picture. So once again, entirely up to you. Both of these builds are goated. Both of these builds will make you a lot of freaking money. If you haven't already, check out my past videos that I've done with the MP5. Man, this thing is worth its weight in gold. If you lose it, who gives a crap? You make another one and you move on. Alright, next up is another submachine gun. If the MP5 is right up your alley, but it's outside your budget, then I introduce to you the Uzi, which is kind of like a budget version of the MP5, which is already a budget weapon. But this one you can craft for much cheaper. Here you have to go for this adapter and this stock to get that recoil down as possible, because the thing is you can't put a hand grip on this, therefore you rely on your stock to take the brunt of the recoil, and you want to run a PK sight as always. But if you don't want to have these things in your PK sight, then what I recommend for is the EKP 818 reflex, or what I like to call the EKP sight. Here you can go for recoil control or you can go for suppressor. I probably would go for the suppressor because the whole build will cost you about 50k or something, and that is suppressed 48,000. There you go. And it's a very good weapon. Shoots the same rounds as the MP5, and it also has very controllable recoil. It's a highly mobile weapon too. Highly mobile. You can run and gun with it. Very good at short range. Not that great in medium range, but if you're doing money runs, this thing will suffice, because at the end of the day, you're not running a budget weapon to PvP, you're doing it to make money. And if you have to fight, then so be it. But this weapon will pull its weight. One of my good friends, Secret Salad, I've seen him melt a T6 with this gun. A full T6, I couldn't believe it. This weapon works miracles. It is that good. Here, we're going to go for PK, my personal favorite. And here, we're going to go silenced. Alright. Make sure we are fully automatic. It bounces, but it's controllable. It's very good for hitting headshots, and also very good for picking angles. Very fast, very agile. You can just go in and out of corners. If you want to see this weapon in action, I've done a video. I think one of my last videos was on the Uzi, so do check it out. I get some good kills with it. It's just awesome. Like, the stats on it in terms of like ergonomics, mobility is just great. So medium noise suppression, it's a great budget weapon. At 45k, probably the best in class if you ask me. Oh, but the Impo, there's the MPF 45. MPF 45 will also cost you 45k to fully kit out, but the ammo is almost twice as expensive as AP63. So I've seen it go all the way up to 700, and you can pick up AP63 sometimes for 380. So ammo does matter, especially if you're running budget. Alright, that's it for that one. On to our next build. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Next up, we have the AKM. Now, why am I running the AKM? I freaking hate this weapon, but it does shoot a very nice ammo. So, here's the thing. The ammo that this weapon fires is very cheap and very strong. So PS rounds are very, very cheap and they're very, very strong. So 7.62 X 5, is it 5.4? Yeah. Oops, no, that's the big one. Sorry, 3.9. 7.62 3.9. So PS you can get for 216. Although preferably if you can do that, T45 is even better. Less pen, but you do get less recoil control penalties as well. And of course, you have the BP ammo, which you can drop chads with. So up to you, pick your poison. I think PS is good enough. PS does a lot of damage, therefore I run PS on there. And the build itself is very, very cheap. So what I'm going to do here is I'll try and kit this out. So what I want to do here essentially is change this to something more tolerable when it comes to recoil. You want to go for the collapsible there. I used to go for DualShock, but DualShock gives you less ergonomics and it's pretty much the same price. So don't do it. It's not worth it. You want to go for the extra ergonomics there. If you do need, if you do struggle with recoil, you can always go for the I'll show you in a second. So I want to get rid of the side there. Get that one. You want to go for PK. Here, it's entirely up to you how you want to run it. You can go for this one. It will give you the extra recoil control. And here, probably your best option is halfway, which is that one. So the whole build will cost you roughly, what, 70k? 84, just 84k. So really, really good build. Crazy strong because of the ammo runs. Versatile weapon. Up close, you can full auto it. At range, you can semi-auto it. It's just a good all-around weapon. So I'm just going to jump in the firing range and test it out. Really, really fond of PS ammo. But it does have that little bit of kick to it. Alright. Gun modding. AKM. So I'll switch the tube. Oops, that's the wrong one. My apologies. Tube there and the collapsible. Want the extra ergonomics. Get rid of that. Go for that one. That one. 14k. And here we want to go for that. 65 with 65 vertical with horizontal. At least it's not an eyesore to look at anymore. Alright. We're going to go fully automatic. So very, very solid guys. And you can tap the range. It does have a little bit of funky recoil, but it'll do the job. It's very good. It's not too bad in terms of ergonomics either. So you can move around. You just can't fully auto it. But it is a good budget weapon. So if I look at it closely here. 44 ergonomics. It's not too bad. Good muzzle velocity. Okay weight. Okay rate of fire. Accuracy is meh. But once again, you are running it for the PS ammo because PS ammo is freaking ridiculous. If PS ammo kicks out too much for you, then go for the T40. Alrighty, second last on this list is perhaps the most hated weapon in the game. And it's none other than the Sega. So it's a shotgun, semi-automatic. This thing with Type 8 will pepper anything in T6 armor, T5, you name it, it'll absolutely destroy it. If you do want that range, you can always go for the AP rounds. It's not really that expensive to kit out either. You can always go for like a AK or an RPK stock. It doesn't really matter. The recoil is not that much of a problem. Here, we want to take that out. We want to go for the that nice little red dot. Over here, I go loud usually, but you can go silent if you wanted to. You will stay within that the 80k range anyway, but it kind of defeats the purpose of running a shotgun. If you're running AP slugs, go silent. If you're not running AP slugs, do not go silent. Like there's really no point to it. Here you can opt to, I mean, you don't have to, but you can opt to go for the other handguard when you put a grip on it. I don't. It's much cheaper this way. I do, however, advise you go for the drum mag. It is very, very solid. So the whole build will cost me what? 87,000. 87,000 because of the mag. You take the mag out, it's much, much cheaper. So what I'm gonna do is I'll jump in shooting range and I'll showcase how busted the Type 8 ammo is. It is disgusting. You can two-tap, like you can two-tap legs from like 30 meters out, and that should not be the case. Like having that in the game is absolutely busted. I do not recommend it at all, but that's how the game runs. Don't hate me for pointing it out, but a lot of people do abuse that mechanic. So go for the RPK. We want to go for stock for the ergonomics. Here we're gonna remove that. I'm gonna go for a red dot. You can go loud or silence, entirely up to you. Here you want to go for like any mag will do. So we're gonna go ahead and build that. Then we're gonna go to ammo dump and we're gonna get the Type 8. Perfect. Alright. So do we have Type 8? Type 7. It didn't register. That's fine. So that's full T6. I wish I could use the Type 8, but essentially you can head tap, you can maybe let me change the armor type. Something that has no arms. Like this one here. This one here. That's cooked. You see it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 2 tap, 1, 2 tap. Come on, like that's just hilarious. Like you shoot them in the armpit twice, they die. Like how busted is that? That is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But it's every rat's dream. As long as you stay indoors, this weapon will pull its weight. All right. Next up, we have everyone's favorite, which is the Desert Eagle. If you want to run the Desert Eagle, my advice to you, go for the gold one. It is a little bit more expensive, but if you take the mag out, you get a lot better stats on recoil. Put a red dot on it, and what you want to run here is just a normal mag. That's it. That is it. The whole build will cost you what, like 50k? Less than 33,000. 33,000, and you absolutely be clapping chicks with it. Now, my only pet peeve with this is the ammo. Like the gold ammo is about 1k a pop, and if you had a choice between this or a AP slug, I think the AP slug's better. But look at the stats on this: 72 base damage, 42 penetration. But the Deagle does only have medium firing power, so keep that in mind. Therefore, the ammo is not as good as it seems on paper. Trust me. Which is why I've put this weapon so low on the list. I mean, not that I went in a particular order, but I don't think this weapon is as versatile as the rest that we showcased. It's not exactly the cheapest to run either. So we got pistols, Desert Eagle. I'll put a red dot on it. What ammo do we have on this? Oops, that is not the ammo we want. One, and then we want that. Equip. Yep, that's what we want. So that's T6 armor. So T6 takes a bit of punishment, but if you wanna like shoot at range with this, very bouncing. How many shots did they even register? So I registered a few shots, but it's kind of all over the place, and that's why I don't rate the Desert Eagle. But if you're up close, you can definitely spam it up close. So I don't know, look, it's not my favorite. People swear by it. I think there's a lot of better options out there, but I'll be negligent in my duties if I was to omit this from the list. I think it's a great weapon. It's just not my thing. But it is a little bit like, kind of like the Mosin, one-dimensional. Though I think this is more versatile than the Mosin. You can shoot at range. But yeah, anyways, that's it for this one. There's one more to go. Last but not least, Alright, the next one is a no surprise to be on this list, and is the T951, one of the most versatile guns in the game with one of the best ammo in the game, period. Here I would run for the rail handle because it takes up less of the screen. As always, I run a PK side there. I do go layout, it's entirely up to you what you go for. I prefer to go layout, and the build like that on its own will cost you about, what is that? 79,000, and you can run no problem. If you feel like recoil is an issue for you, you can always go for one of the cheaper grips, and then they'll boost it up to like what, 84,000. But the greatest thing about this weapon is the ammo. That is the only reason why I want to run that weapon. T4 is cheap, it's better than BP's, although slightly dearer. Purple ammo is also very good. It's got solid fire rate at 650 RPM. It does have medium firing power unless you put the long barrel on it. So if you were to put the long barrel on it, we're gonna remove that. If we go for the longer barrel here, you get the high firing power there. You can go down this way, and it will cost you 91,000. So it's a bit dearer because the barrel. So do keep that in mind. Now let's go and test it out. It is a great weapon. I've dropped a lot of chads with it. It's one of my go-to weapons actually. Lately I've switched over to the RPK for the fire rate. But this weapon, do not underestimate it. It will perform for you. Okay, so we're gonna go for the medium firing power one. We want to get the T951 for the handrail. Red dot sight. We want that. Perfect. You can also add the cheek stock there for the extra recoil. It does work really well. What ammo do we have? The UVC-12. Decent fire rate. Decent recoil control. And very good hip fire as well. And the price range is there as well. The only thing is obviously the handle covers half your screen, but that's really not much. Even if you tap it, it's very, very solid. Anyways, guys, that's it for this one. I hope you enjoy the content. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What is your favorite budget build? And I hope to catch you next one. Peace.